Hey, and welcome to map 3 of Heretic. This is the Gatehouse. The opening section to this level sees us jumping off this raised section here. There's a whole bunch of gargoyles waiting to attack us as we move through the courtyard. The best way, I think, to deal with these is not to stand outside, but to try and draw them into this little corridor here. If you deal with them in the corridor here, they have to come at you single file, which makes things a bit easier to handle. Obviously, we're still going to take some damage because these guys are pretty aggressive on the top difficulty here. Haha, nice. If you stand out in the courtyard, you're just kind of leaving yourself open to those attacks, especially on the top difficulty, because the attacks do move quickly here, and it can be a bit of a pain to deal with all those enemies at once. Gargoyles can be a real pain if you don't deal with them quickly in situations. As you're seeing here, this gargoyle is stood behind these enemies. We can't hit it, but it is lobbing fireballs at us, which we have to dodge while also trying to deal with the golems. You don't actually need to come this way, but it is advisable just to sort of clear out those gargoyles ahead of time. This is a very interesting room. There's a bunch of pillars that will come down as soon as we enter the room. There's a bunch of ammo on top, which obviously we want to get our hands on. There is also the green door there. That is the exit of the level. As I mentioned in the last video, Heretic has this interesting thing where the keys actually always appear in pretty much the same order. So on some of the bigger levels, you will know that you're on a big level when you see blue doors. But this level doesn't have a blue door for us to access. However, we can access this room. There's a bunch of golems inside, but that's not the only thing we've got to worry about coming in here. If we grab this flask here, a bunch of... yes, those lovely things will pop out of the wall there. As mentioned, Heretic is a big fan of monster closets, and monster closets within secrets in particular. It's something that you kind of have to get used to when you're playing this game. Nothing is given for free in Doom, but nothing is given for free ever in Heretic. If we come around here, we can get the crossbow. You can see already I'm being tailed by a bunch of these golems, so it's a good idea to just thin them out as quickly as possible. If we grab this shadow sphere here, the wall at the back drops down. We do want to get rid of these guys. Interestingly, if we use the shadow sphere, we can actually avoid the green crossbows when they're fired at us. The red ones will still hit us, but the green ones actually pass through, which is a neat little attention to detail. You really don't want the red ones of those crossbows to be hitting you. Those enemies shooting through the walls are... oh gosh, okay, I forgot about that. Just in case I'm going to get hit here. On the lower difficulties, these enemies are not too difficult to deal with because these move quite slowly, but obviously when they're flying at you like this and there's several of them shooting crossbows at you, you kind of have to be careful. So that's kind of why I'm taking my time here. We're going to run out of ammo. We are. So we can still get hurt by melee damage if we get too close here. I do not really want to risk that. If we come back in here, that we should get a bunch of ammo, which we do. We'll come back and finish off this enemy. Just making sure there's no secrets that I've missed here. It has been a while since I've played this level, so just making sure I haven't left anything behind. When you step through that door there, the little chamber opens up. There's a few enemies inside. You can go up either set of stairs here. You do need to go up the right-hand side one, though, if you do want to progress. We'll come this way, though, because it allows me to get rid of these enemies. When you hit that switch, it raises the staircase inside this area here. We'll be grabbing that. There's a backpack there that gives us more ammo, which is always welcome. Not going to open those doors yet because there's a few enemies inside and I don't really want to deal with them right at this second. I want to head up the steps here, grab the arrows, and take care of these guys. Oh, whoa, 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 wow. We nearly lost everything there, didn't we? We nearly lost everything. Like I said, those red crossbows are a nightmare. If they smack you right in front of you and you don't see them coming, there's very little you can do to avoid them. And as you saw there, it took off a nice chunk of health. Make sure we grab all that ammo, because we are struggling a bit for ammo on this level. Those enemies out in that lake there, still causing us trouble. This is the first time we're going to see the egg power-up. It's my favourite power-up in the game, just because of how absolutely silly it is. Basically, I'm going to show you here how it works. You can use this power-up to turn enemies into chickens. And it's pretty stupid, but it's pretty hilarious at the same time. It's a goofy little item. Ah, missed them both. You can see there that enemy has been turned into a chicken. If you let it get close to you, it will peck you. So it's if you've got not much health, like I've not here, not a good idea to get close. You can see the wind is in effect outside. On the normal difficulties, when those enemies fire into the window, sometimes they don't even reach the window because of the wind outside. But on the top difficulty here, because they get an extra boost, usually they'll make contact if they shoot. With a green keycard here, we can actually head towards the exit. Let's go outside. So this is a secret area here. We hit the switch and it opened up this area. This is an interesting little encounter and I'm sort of preparing myself mentally for it. As soon as we step on this island, behind us there, a bunch of those enemies are going to appear. Now, as you can see, they are trying to shoot at me, but the crossbows are kind of going backwards because of the wind. And this is where knowing how to take advantage of that mechanic really comes into its own. Once we head inside the exit here, there's a bunch of golems that we can deal with. There's also going to be a slightly new enemy, and when I say slightly new, what I mean is it's more of a variation on an existing enemy that we've already seen. When we hit these switches here. Wow, okay, that was rude. So this is an undead warrior. It's effectively the same as the normal variant, except as you can see, it is launching only red arrows. And because it's invisible, that means that some of the weapons we'll get in this game actually won't work on it. So we'll be exploring that as we make our way through the levels here. There is one final thing we need to do before we leave the level. When we hit that switch, this wall drops down. There's an enemy in there, but there's also a teleporter, and that will take us to the top part of this courtyard. Let's just grab as much health as I can before we do this. The interesting thing here is that there are enemies that we weren't able to wake up earlier. I'm going to use the Tome of Power because we're not really going to be using that at any other point. We are pretty much at the end of the level here. Once we've gone up top, you can see a second door to the left there has opened up. And there are yet more enemies up here for us to deal with. One thing I really like about the Tome of Power and Heretic having secondary fire is that it allows weapons like the pistol to actually be useful. So the wand here, for example, we can actually use it as a viable option in combat, even though it's still pretty rubbish. At least it gives us more options in combat, and I think that that's one thing I really appreciate about Heretic's approach and changes to the Doom formula. The final thing I'm going to do here is just drop down and grab the Dragon Claw there. We don't really need this at this point, but you can get it a lot earlier in the level if you don't already have one. All we need to do now is hit this switch and ride the elevator up to the top, and that will be the end of the Gatehouse. It's a fun little level. I think it's a little less remarkable than the first two levels, but it definitely has its charm, and it can be a real challenge in some of those areas. It is pretty nasty when some of the enemies sort of swarm around you in some of those rooms, so it's definitely worth a try if you haven't tried it so far. Let me know what you think of this level. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Are you enjoying Heretic so far? Let me know in the comments, and thank you so much for watching.